we're gonna get back to the old intro. Yo, what's up guys, we're back to my channel, go back with another video. In this one, I will be giving you guys my thoughts on the Micah Parsons deal. Made it short about this a couple days ago, not gonna break into the details of the trade. I'm just gonna talk about it and who wins it from each perspective and whatnot. Let's get right into it. So, I think that this was an interesting move because this is kind of an under the radar move. I didn't expect this happening at all, being honest, and I think the Packers got it this time. They got one of the best linebackers in football, one of the best players in football, one of the best young studs in football, and he checks all those three boxes. I think that they didn't have to give up much either. Yes, they gave up some draft capital, but they gave up an old, inconsistent Kenny Clark defensive tackle, and Packers did well. They got this move. They did it well. They didn't want to give up too much. They didn't give up one of their better offensive or defensive studs. They just gave up a guy that's aging. They get a centerpiece of their defense for years and years to come. And I think the Packers knocked this out of the park. I think this is an A+ move for Green Bay fans. And Green Bay fans should be extremely happy about this move because they knocked it out of the park. Now, on the Cowboys side, right? There are positives. I'm not gonna doubt that. There were just definitely some positives. They got a lot of draft capital, so they can have a lot of great drafts going down the line. But you get rid of Micah Parsons. This guy is literally the face of football right now, and this is tough. And I don't know, Jerry Jones' tactic of doing that, but I don't think this was a good move by Jerry. I don't think that this was, this wasn't how they wanted to go, and I think that they messed up here, right? But it is what it is. Now, I'm going to talk about my thoughts and how these teams are going to do in the regular season. So let's get into it. Let's start off with the Green Bay Packers in the NFC North. And I don't know, right? Now, a big rumor going around is that Green Bay is going to be a World Series contender, a Super Bowl contender, going to make loud noises in the playoffs, and it's definitely going to be a dark horse Super Bowl contender. I genuinely disagree with that. I don't think that they will be a Super Bowl contender. I don't think they will be an NFC Championship contender. I think they will make a playoff appearance. Let me tell you why. I don't think they're going to make the Super Bowl, let alone the NFC Championship. I just don't think the offense is good enough as teams in that division, like Detroit, like Minnesota. I'm not the biggest fan of Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love has a lot of good qualities, but he's just not the guy right now. Now, they have one of the best running backs in the league. Receiver room's kind of weak. Look, I think that the Green Bay Packers are extremely talented, and I do think they made a big splash with that just one big move in the NFL offseason. I think that they did an impeccable job with bringing in one of the best linebackers in football, bringing in a face of the NFL, especially defensively. I still don't think that Jordan Love is the top 10 QB. I think that QBs like Lamar, Josh Allen, I think Baker Mayfield, obviously Mahomes, Burrow, JD5, Justin Herbert, obviously Jalen Hurts, CJ Stroud are better. I mean, I just think that those guys are better than Jordan Love. I think he has talent, but he's not, an upper echelon of quarterbacks. Just that I'm questionable about Romeo Doubs. I'm questionable about Christian Watson. I'm questionable about Jaden Reed. I don't think that that's one of the better receiving corps in the league. If you look at the Eagles receiving corps, Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, and if you look at receiving corps like, Dallas, they still have George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. And L.A. has Ladd and Keenan Allen and Landry Smith. I just think that there are a lot of better receiving corps out there, receivers that can absolutely torture your secondary. I think that Green Bay will be one of the better teams in football, probably around top 10, they'll probably win somewhere around 10 to 12 games. But I don't know how they're probably gonna win like around 9 to 12 games. They're not gonna have less than 9 wins. So it should be good. But I just don't think that they're a Super Bowl contender. Now neither is Dallas either. These both aren't Super Bowl contenders. I think that Super Bowl contenders in the NFC includes the Philadelphia Eagles, the Detroit Lions. You know, I even like Tampa. I really like Tampa. Like, there are a lot of bigger and stronger NFC contenders, Super Bowl contenders, let alone in that division with Detroit and Minnesota. And same for Dallas. I think that the Eagles have a better chance. Now, Commanders is interesting because they don't have as much experience as Dallas. They don't have as much history in the playoffs in Dallas. But this is a young, amazing team with guys like Terry, with guys like Deebo Samuel, with guys like Austin Eckler, Jaden Daniels, Jonathan Allen, Bobby Wagner. Like, this is a really solid team. They can definitely do it. They almost did it last year. Jaden Daniels had on the best rookie season as a quarterback in NFL history. So I don't think either of these teams are Super Bowl contenders. I think Green Bay will do well. Like I said, around 9 to 12 games. I think that Cowboys will still win. Probably, that depends. 8 to 10 games, probably. I think that the defense took a big step down. And if Daxley is healthy, that'll probably be their best bet to win. Their ceiling of games, whoever that will be, whether if it's 10, whether it's 11, whoever, there's probably the best chance to get their best out of that team. But I'm just not sure about how they're going to do defensively. And I'm interested on how this year will go for both teams. And I'm excited for the regular season coming up. On Thursday night, Dallas faces Philadelphia. We're going to definitely talk about that game up in a minute. But before we get into this, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you guys want to see more content. I'm just going to talk about the Eagles and Cowboys game. So, as I said, Philadelphia plays Dallas in AT&T. First game of the NFL season, opening day, as I say. And this is a huge test for Dallas week 1 to face probably a top 3 team in the NFL against around I would say the Cowboys are around 14 to 18. Probably like 13 to 16. I think they're solid. But I do have Philly taking the dub here. I think that the offense is great with Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I do think Hurts will have a great year. I also think the defense will perform. I don't think Dallas' defense has a shot against this Philly offense. I think Dallas' offense can compete here. But Philly still has guys like Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Zach Vaughn. Yes, she got rid of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, but it is okay. I just think that Philly is still so good, and I still think they will be good enough to beat Dallas. My prediction of the score here is going to be 34 to 25, honestly, here for Philadelphia. I think that the Cowboys get a couple touchdowns, possibly some field goals. Actually, no. My prediction of the score, give me 32 to 24 Dallas. 32 to 24 Philly. That makes no sense, but probably like 3 touchdowns and a field goal. I think that the Eagles will have some touchdowns. They would have some field goals, and I think it will be a competitive matchup, or at least, I think it'll be fun to see how these teams play. But that's genuinely my thoughts on how the game's gonna go. Prediction 32 to 24. So yeah, we're gonna see how it turns out. I'm excited. Thursday night. I'm hyped. I'm out. Peace.